I took this photograph during a hike in the Alps. The view felt enormous. There was a high, clear sky, mountains stretching into the distance, and green slopes leading down into the valley. Today, I want to bring some of that atmosphere onto paper. This is not a step-by-step lesson. It is simply a quick watercolor painting inspired by the hike. I started with the light pencil sketch. The central mountain became the main subject. Around it, I added the distant peaks, the forest, the green slopes, and the small path in the foreground. At this stage, I only needed the large shapes. The details could come later. I began painting with the sky. It was almost completely clear that day, with only a few small clouds. I used a simple blue wash and made it slightly lighter near the horizon. A clear sky looks simple, but it covers a large part of the painting. Every movement on the brush becomes visible. I decided to accept the texture and just continue. Next, I added the distant mountains. I kept them light and blue so they would feel far away. Each new layer became slightly darker as the landscape moved closer. This was when the empty page first began to feel like an open space. The central mountain needed much stronger shadows. I used gray, blue, and muted green, following the lines from the summit down the slopes. I built the color gradually, allowing some areas to dry before I did another layer. The darker peak gave the painting a focal point and helped separate it from the distant mountains. Then I moved to the forest and the grass. For the forest, I used a deep blue-green shape and later added an uneven line of trees. In the foreground, I followed the direction of the hills with long green and olive brushstrokes. These sweeping lines became one of my favorite parts of the painting. They create movement and guide the eye towards the mountain. Well, there was a moment when the painting looked unfinished and slightly disconnected. The foreground was divided into separate bands, and the forest was very strong, and the mountain still needed more depth. After the paper dried, I added dark mountain shadows. I softened several areas and added pale blue peaks in the distance. I also narrowed the light areas in the foreground and kept the small path entering from the lower corner. For the final stage, I added only a few details. Some rocks, dark grass, mountain texture, and small changes around the forest. The most difficult decision was knowing when to stop. Watercolor can change very quickly, and one additional layer can create more depth, but too many layers can also remove its lightness. Here is the finished landscape. My favorite parts are the dark central mountain, the distant blue peaks, and also this path leading to the green slopes. The painting brings me back to that moment during the hike. I was sitting high above the valley, under a clear sky with layers of mountains continuing towards the horizon. And I think that is what I wanted to preserve most. Should I paint another landscape from the Alps, or should I choose something else?